Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we up to text number 65, is that correct? I was asking them, but nobody answered. Okay, Jiva said it's 265. So we'll read, you can repeat, but then I'm just going to read the English, and then the next one we'll all chant, because there's no purport to this verse. Prasade sarva dukkanam.
Prasade sarva dukkhanam.
Aniya asyo pachayate.
Anirasyopajaayate.
Prasana cheta sohi asu.
Prasanna chetaso hiyashu.
Buddhi paryavatistate.
Buddhi paryavatishtate.
For one thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such satisfied consciousness, one's intelligence is soon well established. So I'm not going to speak much on it, but I'll just try to say what it's saying. For one that's satisfied in Krishna consciousness. So that, I think you can understand what that is. You're Krishna conscious and you're satisfied. The threefold miseries of material existence, adhyatmic, adibodhic, adidaivik, miseries from other living entities, miseries from your own body and mind, miseries from the demigods or from natural catastrophes, exist no longer. So now you can say, what is it? They don't exist. You don't, I mean, you can understand maybe the mind doesn't give you any trouble because it's completely peaceful, but your body still gets old, gets pain, gets sick, so many things. So these miseries are there. But it says the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. You're not affected by them. They don't disturb you. If you're Krishna conscious, it's really hard to understand, but how you're conscious of something so wonderful that anything discomforts, you don't even notice within the body. So it's a very advanced position. We can come to that position by practicing. Prabhupada said if you can practice something, you could perfect it. So we're practicing. There's devotional service in practice, which is what we're doing. And we can perfect it and actually come to the point of thinking of Krishna always and become free from the threefold miseries of material existence. Okay, any questions or comments on that verse? No purport. Okay, so we'll go on to the next verse and everyone can repeat. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya.
Nasti buddhir ayuktasya.
Nacha yuktasya bhavana.
Nacha yuktasya bhavana.
Chabhavayata shantir.
Nacha bhavayata shantir.
Shantasya kuta sukam.
Ashantasya kuta sukam.
Nasti buddhir ayuktasya.
Nasti buddhir ayuktasya.
Nacha yuktasya bhavana.
Nacha yuktasya bhavana.
Chabhavayata shantir.
Nacha bhavayata shantir.
Ashantasya kuta sukam.
Ashantasya kuta sukam.
Nasti buddhira yuktasya.
Nasti buddhir ayuktasya.
Nacha yuktasya bhavana.
Nacha yuktasya bhavana.
Nacha bhavayata shantir.
Nacha bhavayata shantir.
Ashantasya kuta sukham.
Ashantasya
Kutasukam.
Nasti buddhi yuktasya
Nasti
Buddhirayuktasya
acha yuktasya bhavana
Nachayuktasya bhavana
nacha bhavayata shantir
Nachabhavayata shantir
tasya kuta sukham.
Ashantasya kutasukam
Nastir buddhi ayuktasya.
Nasti buddhirayuktasya
Na chakyuktasya bhavana.
Nachayuktasya bhavana
Na cha bhavayatya santir.
Nachabhavayata shantir
Asantasya kutasukam.
Ashantasya kutasukam Nasti buddhirayuktasya
बुद्धेरयुक्तस्य
Nachayuktasya bhavana
Yuktasya bhavana.
Nachabhavayata shantir
Bhavayata shantir.
Ashantasya kutasukam
Ashantasya kuta sukham.
Nati buddhi yuktasya
Nasti
Buddhya
buddhirayuktasya
yuktasya.
na cha yuktasya bhavana
Nachayuktasya
Yuktasya
bhavana
bhavana.
na cha bhavayata shanti
Nachabhavayata shantir
ashantasya kuta sukham.
Ashantasya kutasukam
Na asti.
Nasti.
There cannot be.
There cannot be.
Buddhi.
Buddhi.
Transcendental intelligence.
Transcendental intelligence.
Ayuktasya.
Ayuktasya.
Of one who is not connected.
One who is not connected
with Krishna consciousness.
With Krishna consciousness.
Na.
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 Not.
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 Cha.
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 And. Ayuktasya.
Ayuktasya.
Of one devoid of Krishna consciousness.
Of one devoid of Krishna consciousness.
Bhavana.
Bhavana.
Fixed mind.
Fixed mind.
In happiness.
In happiness.
Na.
Na.
Not. Cha.
Cha.
And. Abhayavayata.
Abhayavayata.
Of one who is not fixed.
Of one who is not fixed.
Shanti.
Shanti. Peace.
Ashantasya.
Ashantasya.
Of the unpeaceful.
Of the unpeaceful.
Kuta. Where is. To come. Happiness. Translation. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? Purport. Unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there is no possibility of peace. So it is confirmed in the 5th chapter, 529, that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance, that he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations, that he is the real friend of all living entities, then only can one have real peace. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. Therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace, however much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. Nasti buddhir ayuktasya nacha yuktasya bhavana nacha bhavayata shantir ashantasya kuta sukham. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness. So we can be connected with the Supreme, maybe other ways, but you have to be, if you're Krishna conscious, you can be physically connected with the Supreme. You also would be Krishna conscious, but here, all you have to do is be Krishna conscious and you're connected with the Supreme. Krishna is not different than anything in relationship to him. When you're actually thinking of Krishna, Krishna is present. So if you're thinking of anything, you're thinking of his holy name, his pastimes, his instructions, anything at all, in your devotional service, that's Krishna conscious. So if you're connected with him, or if you're thinking in that way, you are connected with him. Can have neither transcendental, one who is not connected with him in Krishna consciousness, can have neither transcendental intelligence. So we can have intelligence, but it's not transcendental, it's material intelligence. Just like we see so many people are very intelligent, but they're not ultimately really intelligent because they don't even know who they are. But they are very, very good at making money and making inventions and doing so many things. So they may be somewhat, in that sense, intelligence. Prabhupada gives one definition of intelligence is to analyze things in their proper perspective. That's intelligence. So you're analyzing things. So in the proper perspective is, you're not the body. The body is just made of bones and blood and skin and mucus and bile and hair and so many other things that are not very nice. That's not you. The body you had as a little boy or a little girl is totally gone now, unless you're still a little boy or a little girl. We may have some online. I want to change my view here because I look up and I don't want to see me. Okay, well, we got two people bold enough to turn on their videos. I want to thank you. And those who aren't, try to get up enough strength to press that button. So everyone can see, and we can see we actually have people out there we're talking to. So intelligence, there's material intelligence and there's spiritual intelligence, although at least one time when Yasumati Nandana Prabhu asked Srila Prabhupada, is there two kinds of intelligence, material intelligence and spiritual intelligence? Because he saw sometimes devotees, they don't seem to be so smart course, now we have all smart devotees because we have Indian devotees, and most of them are pretty intelligent. But I mean, not even a spiritual intelligence, so don't get too puffed up. but at least they have material intelligence. They're smart. And he was seeing some people who are very intelligent, but they're not into Krishna consciousness. And some devotees who are into Krishna consciousness don't seem to be real intelligent, like materially. So he asks, is there a spiritual intelligence and a material intelligence? And at this time, because at different times Prabhupada says different things, but at this time he said, intelligence is intelligence, and the devotees are the most intelligent. So, I mean, I understood that because even if you're so smart, you can figure out so many things. If you don't even know who you are, and someone else knows who they are, but can't figure out so many things, he's more intelligent. You know, if I think I'm there was a guy who thought he was a hat, right? There was a guy, I mean, this is true, he thought he was a hat. So I don't know what he did to please himself. Maybe he jumped on top of somebody's head.
I think he thought his wife was a hat.
Oh, now he's thinking, now she's thinking that she's not sure if he thought his wife was a hat. Yeah, better your wife be a hat than you be a hat.
Yeah, he thought his wife was a hat.
Yeah, she looked it up. Yeah, he thought his wife was a hat. But now, so he certainly, what is he going to do to please his wife? Dust her off? He doesn't know who she is. So if someone who doesn't know who you are, if you don't know who you are, what are you going to do for yourself? In other words, I'm thinking I'm this body and I have such great intelligence that I'm going to do everything conceivable for helping this body, which doesn't help me at all. A next life, I'm a dog or a hog or a camel or an ass or a jaguar, not the car, the animal. What's the use of thinking I'm my body? That's not so intelligent, even though I'm super intelligent and I can figure out so many things. So that's why I think the devotees are the most intelligent, because they start out with knowing who they are. They don't know who they are. What's the use? What's the use of doing anything? Why am I doing it? Why am I doing anything if I don't know who I am? So anyway, I'm going to go back to the translation again. One who is not connected with the Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind. Prabhupada explains in the purport about the steady mind is you have the ultimate goal. You know what your goal is. It's not easy to have a steady mind when you have so many different goals. You don't know what you want. Right now you want this, then you want that. It can't be steady. So without which there's no possibility of peace. So you can't be peaceful. If you're not in Krishna conscious, then you don't have a steady mind, you can't be peaceful. And without, and how can there be any happiness without peace? So peace is a prerequisite for happiness. I kind of remember a story of myself before actually moving into a temple. When I joined the temple, you couldn't be like you people all now, live outside the temple and be Krishna conscious. I mean, you could, but nobody thought you could. So you had to move in the temple. So I was going to the temple and I didn't really want to move in. So I was riding on the back of a motorcycle and I was holding on really tight. And I thought, what can I do? You know, I don't want to be a devotee, but I also saw life, material life, as a drag. I didn't find it exciting at all. I felt material life was not, it just didn't, there's nothing in material life that would have made me really happy. So I thought maybe if I got a motorcycle, because I'm riding on the back of my friend's motorcycle, if I got a motorcycle and lived dangerously, then maybe life would be at least exciting if I lived dangerously. So when I thought that, I would have to say that Krishna told me, well, if you want to live dangerously, then why don't you enjoy it? And I was thinking, because I was like enjoying it somewhat, but I wasn't enjoying it. I'm holding on really tight, I'm a little tense. So to enjoy, you have to be completely relaxed, completely peaceful. So I tried it. I'm going to enjoy it. So right after I just relaxed, I still held on, but not like real tight, like tense, just held on loose. And I just at that point when I was completely peaceful, a car passed the stop sign and we went right into the car. And I thought, I don't want to live dangerously. So Krishna got that out of my head really quick. But the point I'm making is you can't enjoy. I'm on that motorcycle. And then when I looked at myself and why don't you enjoy? I wasn't enjoying because I wasn't peaceful. I wasn't relaxed. I was tense. So I wanted to be peaceful. And once I got to the point of being peaceful, the cars passed the stop sign and that ended pretty quickly. You can't be peaceful artificially. You have to be peaceful in Krishna consciousness. Then it's natural. And without peace, and nobody has peace, shanti, shanti, shanti. Nobody has peace. People are not peaceful. So without it, there's no question of happiness. You can't be happy. You have to, it's a prerequisite for happiness. You want to be happy? Okay, first be peaceful. No. Can I skip that part? That's too hard. You have to first be peaceful. And you can't really be peaceful unless you're Krishna conscious. And then you can be happy. And then you can also not be affected by the material miseries at all. So unless one is in Krishna consciousness, there's no possibility of peace. And unless you're peaceful, there's no possibility of happiness. I was thinking today of the impersonalist. How I was comparing it like, well, you guys are all, well, maybe not all, at least the ones I see are young. I don't know if anybody else is on. But when you get older, you get a lot of pain in your body all the time. You kind of just get used to it. But I was thinking how nice it would be to get rid of all of this pain, to not have any pain. And then I was thinking that, I was comparing that to like merging in Brahman. There's no pain. And it's really nice. It would be wonderful not to have any pain. But it's not really positive. It's not real happiness. Just not having pain doesn't mean you're happy. But when you're a Krishna Bhakti, you not only don't have pain, but you also have, what happened? Oh, I don't know what happened. But you also, besides not having pain, you have ecstatic feelings of love. You have happiness, you have pleasure, you have all these positive things. So, it's certainly better, you feel better to be merged in Brahman than be in this material body and thinking you're this body. But it doesn't really bring you to what you really want. Ultimately, it's not satisfying. Okay, finally, I don't have pain for so long, but what else is there? Can I get something good? Then you got to come back into the material world and then do it right this time and go back to the spiritual world. Okay, so it is confirmed in the 5th chapter that when one understands that Krishna is the only enjoyer of all the good results of sacrifice and penance. So he's the enjoyer. He's the enjoyer. Let's just make it simple. He's the supreme enjoyer. We're not the enjoyers. He's the enjoyer. We have to give him enjoyment. We have to give him pleasure. That's the first one. Enjoyer of all results of sacrifice and penance. That he is the proprietor of all universal manifestations. He's the proprietor of everything. He owns everything, so therefore he's meant to enjoy it. I mean, I have a car. Somebody can't just come in. I mean, they can, but they're not lawfully allowed to just come and take my car and go for a ride. You know, my car is, I can enjoy my car. I mean, you really can't enjoy a car, but just giving that as an example. But you can enjoy your property. No one else can really enjoy your property legally. So similarly, Krishna owns everything. So he's meant to enjoy it. So we may think we own something, or Krishna may give us something, but it's really his, and we should have that right consciousness, and we should use it in his service. He's the enjoyer. How can I use this? We just watched this video in, I think it was 1973. This one devotee, what was his name? Mahavishnu, I think, wasn't it? Mahavishnu. His uncle passed away and he got 10,000 pounds, which was worth a lot more money than it is today. It was a lot of money. So Shama Sundar put him in charge of the Rath Yatra because Prabhupada is going to be coming to the Rath Yatra. So he used that 10,000 pounds to put on a huge Rath Yatra. And Prabhupada, on the cart, they have Prabhupada Vyasa-san on the cart. Well, Prabhupada decided he's just going to walk. So he walked a little, you know, at least at first, and maybe he'll stop the cart and he'll get on. He walked the whole way. It was a very long walk. If you walk at regular speed, it's like a half an hour, but it took several hours. And he danced while he's walking. And he just came from a flight from India. He just arrived from India with his jet lag and everything. And he just did all of this. And he was ill. He was deciding whether he should go to Australia to recuperate, or if he should go to this Rath Yatra. So he decided to go to the Rath Yatra.
Not only that, the helicopter ride.
Oh yeah, when he landed in at the airport, they had a helicopter that brought him to the manor. It landed on the lawn at the manor. They did all this, you know, for Prabhupada. So this one devotee spent all this money for Prabhupada. And when they told Prabhupada about it, he says that was he used his money wisely. He used it all for Krishna, for Jagannath. So he got all this money and he used it all for pleasing Srila Prabhupada. And it was a really, really ecstatic. Prabhupada was so pleased. And Prabhupada even quoted in the Chaitanya Charitamrita what it said in the newspaper. Where did he quote it? What part of the Chaitanya? It was about something being big. Maybe a mountain.
Oh,
I know. There's some big, huge pole of
someone from London maybe knows.
anybody here
Starts with
from
an E.
England?
Starts with an E,
E?
doesn't it?
I don't know. Thought it was a T. And anyway, it was for some lord, you know, Lord so and so. They had this big, huge thing. Maybe I can't think of the name. So
Trafalgar Square?
I think it was
That's
there.
where
That's where they were, but it was
program
right there.
But there's a column,
A big column. It looked almost like a Garuda Stamba.
but tall, real tall.
But anyway, it was for
There's
Lord
column.
so and
Is it
so.
Piccadilly Circus?
No.
That's something like
No.
Aaron's column or something.
What column?
Aaron, Eric.
I don't know. Anyway, somebody's column, some lord, something or other. And in the newspaper, it says that the Rath Yatra cart looked bigger than that, comparing it to that column. And Prabhupada quotes that in his Chaitanya Charitamrita in the purport, referring to, I guess, the Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri. At least, I mean, I didn't look it up, but Shama Sundar said it in the video where Prabhupada quoted it.
Maybe Nelson column.
Nelson, yeah. Lord Nelson's column or something. So now you can all Google that, not right now after class. So what was the point? Oh, so this Rath Yatra was so pleasing to Prabhupada, even, he talked about it for a while and he wrote it in his books about that Rath Yatra. So that's pretty impressive. And this one devotee took all of the money he just inherited. I'm sure his uncle may have rolled around in the coffin. But his uncle would probably be pleased. He'd probably benefit that he used it. Right. And that he is the real friend of all living entities. He's our supreme friend. He owns everything. Everything's meant for him, but he's our best friend. We don't have a better friend. So your friend's going to take care of you. So he owns it and he'll take care of you. Prabhupada talked about how the devotees were like the servants of a king. They live in the palace and they enjoy practically on the same level as the king. They eat the same food, after the king eats, and they have a nice shelter. They don't live exactly as good as the king, but they live much better than if they were living outside the palace. And he talked about how the devotees, that live in the temple, they get, of course, we get more now than we were getting at that time. It was pretty austere. But at the same time, you get everything you need. Krishna takes care of you. You surrender to him, he takes care of you. That's one of the things, the signs of surrender. Always depend on Krishna's mercy. You feel always protected by the Lord. And you should know he's going to take care of you. So he's our best friend. He cares about us. The proprietor, enjoyer, and our best friend. He is the real friend of all living entities. Then only can one have, then one can have real peace when he understands these three things. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. So we have to have a final goal. What's my goal? My goal is even in our final goal, we want to please Krishna. That's our goal. That should be our goal. We may have a goal, I want to go to the spiritual world. But ultimately, when we get purified enough, we don't even care if we go to the spiritual world, just as long as we're serving Krishna. So we have our goal, and it doesn't change. And when you're serving Krishna, it's still there. I just want to serve him more and more and more. It's not like I want a car. I want to get a Mercedes Benz, and then I'll be happy. Then when I get it, now I got to get a boat, a nice boat. And I could take my friends on the boat. We can go swim in the water. Then I'll be happy. Then I get that. Then I need a bigger boat. Because I got a boat, I got more friends. So, but you're never satisfied. Doesn't matter what. Well, you get a house, and then you want a better house, better area. It's unlimited longings and hankerings in this material world. You never get to a point where, well, now I'm satisfied. I don't need anything else. You always want something. That's the material world. But if you have Krishna as your goal, it's just the same. It doesn't change. Just as please Krishna. Therefore, if one is not in Krishna consciousness, there cannot be a final goal for the mind. Disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal. And when one is certain that Krishna is the enjoyer, proprietor, and friend of everyone and everything, then one can, with a steady mind, bring about peace. So that's a simple process. So therefore, one who is engaged without a relationship with Krishna is certainly always in distress and is without peace. However much he may make a show of peace and spiritual advancement in life. So I show I'm such a Shanti, Shanti. I could show I'm such a peaceful person. Krishna consciousness is a self-manifested peaceful condition which can be achieved only in relationship with Krishna. So people may act like they're peaceful and pretend they're peaceful, but they're not peaceful. And they get agitated. I just saw, not just saw, maybe a month ago. I'm not trying to criticize the Pope because he seems to be a pretty genuinely a spiritual person. But when he's going around like shaking people's hand, someone grabbed him, some woman grabbed him and didn't want to let him go, and he just got really angry. I mean, I'd probably be a lot worse if somebody did something like that to me. But I'm just saying, he's not on the level of Prabhupada. He's not on the level of a pure devotee, not on the level of Jesus Christ. He apologized for doing that. So that's the best he can do, and it's better than most people. So, but the point is, he's still not completely peaceful. You know, and he's the leader of one of the biggest religions in the world. Anyway, we have to try to become peaceful by accepting this formula. It's nice, it's a formula, just like in science, you have a formula, you know, you put this and this is a formula and then you get a certain result. So this is a formula. You just see Krishna in this way, genuinely see him in this way, and you become peaceful. In spite of so many things that may be going on around you that are normally disturbing. If you look at Prabhupada, he seemed very peaceful in every situation. He didn't act this way in this situation, this way and that. He seemed the same everywhere. I don't know how he could be so undisturbed wearing 25 flower garlands, but somehow he was able to do it. They put on so many garlands, and then eventually he'll take something off. And he's walking too with a whole bunch of garlands, so many. That would be hard for me to be peaceful, just with that one thing.
I'd be bent down with that many garlands.
What?
I'd be bent down, I said.
I know. Anyway, he's perfect example of this. Perfect example of how to see Krishna is. He saw Krishna this way, and he saw Krishna doing everything. He just tried to follow the instructions of his spiritual master. That's it. And this whole movement came about, and people are still more and more people becoming Krishna conscious. And he had no idea it was going to be so successful. You know, he just made the effort. That's all you have to do is try. And don't give up. He tried and he kept trying and trying and trying. You know, if you don't succeed once, try again, something like that. If at first you don't succeed, try again. Thank you. I have my quoting expert here. Okay, so Anyone have any questions or comments? Be nice to see some people. Why don't anybody show who they are?
I have a question about Prabhupada.
What?
Jill had a question. I don't know who got in first.
That's you, Jill?
Oh, that was not me.
Oh, thought someone had a question. But a question about Prabhupada's, the time he landed the helicopter in Bhaktivedanta Manor, was that the last time he went, or that was before? The Rath Yatra was before,
No,
right?
that was definitely not the last time he went. That was in
Oh.
73.
Okay.
I think it was the last time he did it by helicopter. Well, two people said two different things. One person in there said he was so, it was Shama Sundar. He was really nervous. The whole helicopter was shaking like anything. And the weather wasn't good. And he said he looked at Srila Prabhupada and he was completely relaxed, not disturbed in the least. But then someone else said, it was a woman, I think, who said it. But didn't say it to her. Said it to somebody. She heard afterwards that he said he doesn't want to fly in helicopters anymore.
Oh.
And I was in a helicopter squadron in the Navy, by the way.
So you know helicopters.
Somewhat. Well, Krishna protected me once. I'll tell that story later.
Okay. And then Prabhupada, it happened to Prabhupada on a plane also, I think, right? The plane had so much turbulence. People thought it was going to go down. Srila Prabhupada said, I don't know, I don't remember exactly what Srila Prabhupada said, that it's going to be all right or something.
Well, ultimately, for Prabhupada, it wouldn't matter if it went down or it didn't go down. It's all Krishna, whatever Krishna wants.
I think he said we're prepared to die at any time.
So what he said?
That's
Is that what he said? Yeah.
I think he said that during the war when there was blackout. He said, "Whatever happens, what will you do if a bomb comes your way?" He said,
Yeah.
"I thought
Oh, he
I
is-
thought it's coming from Krishna or something like that."
Right.
He said that, but it's not like that's the only thing he said.
But once on a plane, he said we're prepared to die at any time.
Did you hear that?
And it might be he said both. Maybe he was peaceful at the helicopter. And he
Sure.
might have said, "I don't want to go back anymore," just as a practical thing.
But
What?
he had no fear.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he had
he-
no fear when it happened. He was peaceful.
Yeah.
But whatever the woman said might be true. He might have said, "I don't want to go back again," just as a practical thing.
I want to go back
We
again?
don't want to right
Like
now.
go on to fly again, you know.
Oh,
go
right,
back to
right.
Plane
Well,
again. He might have said it as a
He didn't like the ride. It was too bright. It was just a small helicopter. It's definitely, it was a small helicopter. It was 3 people could fit in it. That was it. So I guess those helicopters are worse.
I flew on a 12 passenger plane one time and I was like scared to death because you can feel you're in the sky when you're only like in a 12 passenger plane, you know.
Right.
Well, I flew in a 4 passenger and it was fun.
Nothing underneath you.
It was really fun and it was
Achuta's father?
amazing.
Achuta's
Yeah.
father.
It was Achuta's father. He had a plane. And it was amazing. You just go a little ways and you go off and you land so easy. It was like,
Well, you come from the Navy or whatever, right? You have the experience.
I don't know. I really thought it was great. Did Neela go?
Mhm.
Yeah, Neela went too.
Oh, well, I didn't like the 12 passenger plane at all. I said, I'm never going on one again.
And you haven't.
I haven't. I think I closed my eyes through the whole trip. It was from Hartford to New York. That's why it was a small flight, but
This was just all around Hartford. And I'm looking down at the buildings, trying to figure out where the mall is, where this. It's really hard to tell from above what things are down there. It was a lot harder than I expected it to be. But anyway, that was fun. Okay, so we got the helicopters, the planes. Anybody with boats? Any
Trains.
problems with boats or trains?
hey, we talked about bombs too.
And bombs. Well, trains, we can talk about trains in India. There's a lot. to go.
We concluded Srila Prabhupada was not afraid of any of them. Okay.
I can tell you.
For me, even what's amazing is Prabhupada was in a house that was haunted or something, and things were flying all over the place, and Prabhupada was so peaceful. And the servant said, how can you stay here, Swamiji? You know, we're ready to get out of the house. I mean, not the Bhaktivedanta manor. There were ghosts there too, but some other place in Calcutta or something where where it was a haunted house and things were flying all over. But Prabhupada was very peaceful and not affected by it.
He said, I'm ghost proof.
I'm not afraid of thieves and people, but I'm afraid of ghosts.
You got to chant Hare Krishna. It says in the Krishna book where there's the chanting of the holy names, it cannot be any ghost. I had a story. I was in the old Boston temple, not where they are now. And I was in Tulsi's room chanting. But while I'm chanting, I'm talking and I'm in my mind having a conversation. And then I'm saying, who am I talking to? What is this? And I'm supposed to be chanting. So then I went, Hare Krishna. And at that instance, the window flew down, crashed. And I said, Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare. There must have been a ghost talking to me, and they're telling me like not to chant, not to do this, you know. But when I yelled Hare Krishna, the guy left, and he left so fast the window flew down.
Well, they're not supposed to be there while you're chanting, but there's many devotees who have ghost experiences.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
if you're chanting and you're actually hearing the chanting,
Yeah.
then they can't bother you. So if you're chanting,
You
thinking
gotta
of
chant
some other
loud, yeah.
things, it's almost like it's, you know, it doesn't count. So try to hear, just chant Krishna's name and hear his name, and there can't be any ghosts. Okay, so we got the ghosts, we got the, yes, Nanda Gopal.
Yes, true. So during the class, you mentioned that Krishna is the enjoyer, quoting 529. So while we read it, it's easy to hear and apply. But when I'm enjoying something, let's say I'm going to eat ice cream, I'm not thinking that Krishna is enjoying. Just an example like that. So in the moment of enjoyment, it's difficult to realize that Krishna is the real enjoyer. No, the I in me gets empowered, overpowered. So how to deal with it?
Well, you could think how, boy, Krishna must have really enjoyed this ice cream because it's so good. What do? You can enjoy in relation to Krishna if it's prasadam, and you shouldn't eat it if it's not prasadam.
Yeah, someone said in the morning class, prasadam tastes completely different, you know, because Krishna accepted it.
Yeah, we tell people it's mixed with Krishna's saliva. They really like hearing that. Well, give me some of that.
It's not the best way to attract people to.
No, but that's what we used to say. We're just so fanatical.
I think they would like it better if we say Krishna eats with his eyes, which he can.
Yeah, well, we don't say that anymore. We're just saying it to this confidential group.
Krishna being the supreme enjoyer, he's enjoying all the time. Our enjoyment, how much do we enjoy? It's minute compared to Krishna's enjoyment. He's enjoying all the time.
And yet he comes as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to see how his devotees enjoy. What are they getting? So if we're actually devoted to Krishna, we're enjoying even more. It says even more. Radharani can enjoy even more than Krishna. So even if we don't enjoy more than Krishna, we can certainly enjoy a lot in relation to Krishna. Much more than we're experiencing now. You know, param dristvani vartate. When you experience a higher taste, you can give up the lower taste. So this Krishna consciousness is the highest taste. There's nothing better than that. You know, with samadhi is when you think there's no greater gain. You know, in the material world, there's always a greater gain. You can always get more of this, more of that. Whatever you're in charge of, You could get to be the president of the United States, then you get kicked out after a while, and what gain can you get? What's the greatest gain you can get in this material world? Well, in the material world, you can become Brahma. And we probably were already Brahma. We've done everything. And we're still trying to enjoy ice cream.
But if you're thinking that this is mixed with Krishna saliva and this is, prashadam,
Right.
really, if you're on that platform,
Right.
you really relish it.
I watched Prabhupada in a video taking prasadam by himself in his room. He puts a little table next to, like in a corner of a room, and he sits down facing the wall. It's like, man, it's just a meditation. He eats, he's meditating on Krishna. There's nothing else there. Just a wall, no people, and he relishes it. I mean, that's the way he relished prasadam. He's thinking of Krishna, how Krishna enjoyed this. And this is his remnants. So it's practice, devotional service in practice. In practicing it, we can perfect it, and we will get better at it. As long as we don't give up, as long as we keep trying. Anybody else have a question or a comment? You know what? What? I can read one more verse because there's no purport. Prasade sarva dukhanam anya asyo pachayate. Wait a minute. Was this the one I just did? Oh, that's the one I just did. Sorry. That's what happens when you get old.
Question, Rasaraj doesn't do questions anymore?
Rasaraj, you gave up on questions?
No, Prabhu, I actually getting.
What?
You said something?
I love how people pay attention to my class.
He said, where's your quiz, Rasa?
Oh, quiz. Oh, okay.
Did you make a
Because
quiz?
that when the chapter 3 starts, again the question will come.
When the chapter first starts, you have
When
questions?
Chapter 3.
Chapter 3rd.
Oh, no more questions on this chapter.
Really?
It's repeating same topic lot of time.
Well, you can ask something like,
We
what
can
did
ask
Prabhupada fly in?
online, Prabhu. I mean, directly we can ask questions.
Actually, Rasraj Prabhu, we paid a lot more attention when you were giving the quizzes.
Now we don't have to.
We
Okay,
don't
let's.
have to.
No,
No pressure.
I made everyone to listen attentively. Now everyone is attending nicely. So the quiz are no more required.
Oh, I see. You got us all to pay attention, huh?
Okay, who was the devotee who donated I think 10,000 pounds? Who was the devotee?
Vishnu.
Raise
Vishnu
your hand,
somebody.
raise your hand.
Mahavishnu?
Nobody raised their hands.
He did.
Oh, okay. Now they go far.
Thank you, Radhika. Mahavishnu, his uncle donated 10,000. He got in inheritance.
His uncle donated 10,000.
Right. He didn't donate it, he passed away.
He said inheritance.
Oh, inheritance, yeah. He gave it to his nephew. Okay, let me get some more questions. Here, get some questions.
Well, look at your thing.
Here, you can look at the thing. I can't look. Okay,
How'd she do that?
what?
Why she keep moving?
She doesn't control that.
I know, but
You're moving, Manishi, from one place to another. Jiva doesn't know how you do that magic tricks. We have everybody up here, and you over here, over there, and then you over there. It's like, wow.
For who does the threefold miseries of material existence no longer exist? For who?
For who or for whom?
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, Rasaraj. What are you looking it up on the?
Pure. It's for
What is?
those who are not in the Krishna consciousness. For them, the three they cannot come out from threefold of three. That what is it? Threefold of miseries.
What was the question?
For whom?
I-
It's not.
Did he just read it?
I don't know. I think he read it.
Looks like he just
He was
read it.
he looked at it. He was looking at the book, and then he shut his
No. I don't
video,
have.
so we can't see it. No, that's okay.
I don't have book, Prabhu.
One thus satisfied in Krishna consciousness.
Okay, let me say. Nobody look at the books. I think I'll call only on the. I'll call first on the people I can see.
I'm not
Only 3. So, and then I'll call on the others if they raise their hand. Or if you can't raise your hand, you can talk out loud if you have a phone. Raise your hand. What?
Somebody's mic is open and they're just talking amongst themselves.
Where? Who is it?
I don't know. I heard someone talking.
Rasaraj, probably Rasaraj. No?
I heard Gujarati. Somebody speaking in Gujarati.
It was me, Prabhuji, Manishi.
You?
Then you were speaking in Bengali or Assami?
Try different tricks. She moves from here to there. Now she's talking.
You're speaking in a language I
She's
didn't
speaking in different
understand.
languages. Wow. Speaking in tongues.
Okay, let's see. Let me think of something.
What's the peace formula?
Oh, yeah, that's easy. What's the peace formula? Okay, Nanda Gopal.
Bhoktaram Yogya Tapasam 529. Krishna is the supreme enjoyer. Krishna is the supreme proprietor. And the one more, I don't remember.
Well, you didn't think I'd call on you, did you?
That wasn't.
Okay, what does proprietor mean?
He's the enjoyer of all the
Oh,
sacrifice.
I'm asking him.
People are raising their hands here.
Because he's the one who said it. And
Uh,
he said it, and it sounded like he didn't really
raised
know
his
what it
hand.
meant.
is like owner,
Yeah,
Owns-
yeah, the owner, yeah.
the boss.
Yeah, the owner. Okay, what else? So what else is it? Besides the enjoyer and the proprietor?
Sarvaloka Maheshwaram.
I want to see you. Or who's saying that? Is that?
Padmalochani.
Padmalochani.
Oh, your hands up. Okay, Padmalochani, what? Can't hear you. You're muted.
Sarvaloka
I don't
Maheshwaram.
want. What is it? What's the English?
He's the Lord of all the
No, he
all
already
the
said
world.
that. He already said that. There's
He's
three
the
things.
enjoyer of the sacrifice. Bhoktaram Yagna Tapasam, Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, Surida Sarvabhutanam. Is that
That one.
did I miss?
But what does it mean?
No one said that one.
I know what,
Surida Sarvabhutam is the benefactor of all the living entities.
what does that mean?
Means he's the dearmost friend of everybody. So he sits in everybody's hearts and he's the
Yes,
dearmost.
yes. Okay,
Yeah.
dearmost friend. That's good.
Yes.
Now you can shut yourself off. Okay, and you still got your hand up, Padmalochani. Okay, anyone else have a question?
What is disturbance due to?
I don't
You
know.
discussed it.
I
You read
understand,
it.
I understand, and I think I know what you want to get, but it's
Say
not.
disturbance of mind is due to what?
I think I know the answer. If nobody else does, I'm gonna say, and then we'll see if I'm right. Okay, we got, Manishi is gonna try.
Okay, so one who works without relationship to Krishna, any work which is not in relation to Krishna, and that causes disturbance.
Yeah, but something in the purport was a little.
I think I could,
Little
know
more
anyone else, or
specific.
let someone else try before I try. I
Vince,
don't,
that anyone add to that?
I want to.
I didn't hear the purport.
Hey. Oh.
okay, Deb,
But I,
just push your wife out of the way and now.
Prabhuji, when one's desires are unlimited, that causes disturbance.
Okay, can I say what I think?
Yeah, there's something little, yeah.
What I think, I'm not sure either.
Yeah, you read it.
I read it, but they listened to it.
Yeah,
Now I forgot. Since my wife does this to me. When you don't have a goal, the end goal, when you have you know what the end goal is, then you can.
Yeah, it says that disturbance is due to want of an ultimate goal.
So
And when
not having an ultimate goal?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. So we have ultimate goals, Krishna, but then we also have these other goals that kind of get in the way. We sometimes put them on top of the ultimate goal, so we're not peaceful. If we have the ultimate goal of Krishna, when these other things don't really care about too much, then we'll be peaceful.
Yeah. Having an ultimate goal of Krishna and also knowing that he's the supreme enjoyer, provider, and friend. You know, then you'll have a peaceful mind.
Okay, well, it's already gone over. I stretched it out as much as I could. So we can all offer our humble obeisances to all the Vaishnava devotees.
Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhyev cha patitam Vaishnavebhyo namo Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Pyari Mohan Prabhu ki jai.
Jai Jiva Mataji ki jai.
Jai. Itamala ki jai.
I don't care.
All right.